Salisbury is a city that was built around the water. As the crossroads of Delmarva, Salisbury has a rich history as the largest Maryland city on the eastern shore. Lord Baltimore created Salisbury to be a colonial outpost due to its location on the head of the Wicomico River. The town motto is "The Comfortable Side of Coastal." Founded in 1732, Salisbury is a town of 285 years and will reach its tercentenary in 2032, 15 years from now. As a town of almost 300 years, Salisbury has an infinite amount of history, primarily where our capstone project focuses on, in City Park, Schumaker Pond, and Beaverdam Creek area. We begin our story in 1909 with the dam break of Humphreys Lake and how the topography and hydrology of this area was changed from this day forward. At one point, Humphreys Lake used to stretch all the way out to Beagland Park Drive, which is just under a mile and a half. In the 1920s, the city park was acquired for the new municipal water system for the city of Salisbury. It remained just that until the early 1930s. However, first came the Great Depression. An event that caused such financial trouble came to bring an essential addition to Salisbury, City Park. For the bicentennial in 1932, Salisbury wanted to celebrate their proud 200-year history, and the post-effects of the Depression would help them do just that. In 1933, when Roosevelt's New Deal brought federal aid into cities, Salisbury decided to use that money to put its citizens to work building a new park. The park was finished in the late 1940s due to the slowing of work and limited materials during World War II. 1954 was a year of significant change for Salisbury due to the opening of Salisbury Zoological Park, which is still open today and remains one of only 4 free zoos in the United States. Downstream from Schumaker Pond and upstream from City Park, the zoo was host to a large variety of animals over the years. The town of Salisbury was very invested in the zoo. There were almost daily articles about the inhabitants of the zoo and their well-being. During and before this time, most of the waterways of Salisbury were used for bathing and swimming, especially City Park. However, when the zoo opened, the downstream area of City Park was closed due to possible animal waste contamination. Water contamination remained too high to allow swimming.
Upon the break of Humphreys Dam, the hydrology was forever changed. While 2 new pond structures were formed, a combination of residential construction, farming practices, as well as animal waste led to unhealthy ecosystems and high nutrient loads within the water. As waterfront properties became more prominent, the quality of water around Schumaker Pond in particular declined at exponential rate. The current method of reducing hydrilla, an invasive aquatic plant, also contributes to the problem. Herbicide applications kill the invasive weeds, however also adding to the problem of increased decomposing organic matter within the waterway. Along with additional nutrient load, a variety of negative effects including reduction of native aquatic vegetation, increased algal blooms, as well as high levels of bacteria render the pond unsafe for swimming. The amount of nitrogen and other excessive nutrients being deposited into the waterway have gravely increased, ultimately depriving the area and species of oxygen. This deposit of nutrients leads to algal blooms, thus leading to fish kills. As more invasive species thrive, a major loss of biodiversity within the water and surrounding areas is on our hands. Fertilizers and animal fecal matter are 2 of the largest contributing factors of nutrient deposits into the waterway. Homeowners can easily help the situation by ensuring they clean up after their pets, switching to organic alternatives for fertilizer, and by planting native vegetation as a buffer near the edge of their property close to the water. These actions will aid in the reduction of toxic runoff into the waterways, which will help to reduce algal blooms. The biodiversity within the area relies on a cleaner waterway, and we as a community must work together to try and make that possible.
There are 2 types of plants that reside in our park system, native and invasive. Native plants such as the bald cypress and the state tree, the white oak, grow throughout the area. Native plants are important because they provide ample resources such as food and shelter for the native wildlife. There are also native flowering plants like goldenrod and the state flower, the black-eyed Susan, which beautifully attract pollinators. On the other hand, there are invasive plants, species that have brought in by humans for aesthetics or additionally introduced. Plants such as Japanese honeysuckle and English ivy grow rapidly through the park taking up resources that native plants could use to grow. As a homeowner, it is important to grow native plants because it increases resources for native wildlife while beautifying your property. Additionally, if you live on the water, growing a riparian buffer or a vegetated zone along the water's edge reduces pollution, runoff, and erosion, while increasing the infiltration of groundwater back into the aquifer. Increased shade, temperature moderation, and enhancement of wildlife habitat are some of the benefits of allowing native plants to flourish on your property.
You can see many different native species of wildlife while strolling through the Beaverdam Creek area. Some examples of native fauna, like turtles, include northern red-bellied cooters and snapping turtles. Additionally, you might see a wide variety of bird species, including great blue herons, cedar waxwings, dark-eyed juncos, northern cardinals, and even great horned owls if you're lucky. Many species of ducks, such as mallards and wood ducks, also inhabit the area. Northern cardinals are known for their beautiful bright red color and their large repertoire of songs. They belong to a group of birds called grosbeaks, which means that they have thick bills that are adapted for cracking open and eating seeds. The dark-eyed juncos, a type of sparrow, are the most common birds in the United States, with a population of 630 million nationwide. Northern red-bellied cooters, with their red-colored underside, are hard to miss, basking in the sun on a log along the side of the river. Snapping turtles are Maryland's largest freshwater turtle that can be found in any permanent body of fresh water. When looking out on the water at Schumaker Pond or the river flowing through City Park, you will see numerous mallards, male and female, swimming along and bobbing for food on the river's edge. Park visitors should be aware that the birds feast on natural plant matter. Please do not feed the birds, as food like bread can be harmful for their digestion. Homeowners can build bird boxes or plant shrubs to support a healthy bird population. If you happen to be walking around at night, there is a chance that you could hear or see a great horned owl, the most common owl in the Americas, flying around in the trees hunting for a snack. All of these animals make up the Beaverdam Creek ecosystem, and they all play an essential role in keeping the ecosystem up and running. Problematic species can be both native and non-native wildlife that cause a disruption within the environment. These problematic fauna create a shift within the ecosystem by outcompeting or consuming native species. For example, snakeheads, originally from Asia, were found in the Chesapeake in 2002. This invasive breeds rapidly and preys on native species like largemouth bass, yellow perch, and crayfish, which contribute to commercial and recreational fishing. The Department of Natural Resources encourages individuals to kill and report snakeheads if they are caught. While Canada geese are native to Salisbury, non-migratory residential geese have become a nuisance compared to migratory individuals. Canada geese have adapted to eating agricultural leftovers like corn and soybeans. They serve as seed dispersers, and their feces can be used as soil nutrients. However, fecal matter can contaminate different waterways like Beaverdam Creek and Schumaker Pond. Homeowners can deter geese by not encouraging their presence with food or by planting natural garden spaces with limited grass, their food of choice.
The Salisbury City Park, Schumaker Pond Park, and the Salisbury Zoological Park are all areas that the Salisbury community has enjoyed for years. These recreational spaces provide the public with an opportunity to experience nature, connect with other members of the community, and enjoy the outdoors. The connectivity of these environments offer the public an opportunity to appreciate their community in a unique way. The city park provides the public with trails for walking and biking, as well as a spectacular view of Park Lake. The park has paddle boating and playgrounds. It is a great place to go if you are looking for a place to relieve stress and relax. Events are also frequently held here.
The Salisbury Zoological Park is committed to enhancing our quality of life by providing a friendly, relaxing environment where educational and recreational opportunities come together through participation and interaction. The zoo provides an environment in which the Salisbury community can engage with wildlife free of charge. Promoting conservation and education of the natural world, it is a great place to bring your family for the day. Schumaker Pond Park is an area that provides the community with many amenities. This 11-acre park includes a large grill, pavilions, a playground, a dock, as well as an 18-hole disc golf course. Schumaker Pond Park is the perfect place to bring your family for the day of relaxation and fun, offering the community a peaceful area for anything from kayaking to a family picnic. The park also includes an 18-hole disc golf course, referred to as the Shoe, which has multiple tees and pins on every hole to allow everyone from the beginner rec player to the top pro to have a fun time.
In 1975, the Ward Foundation established the Ward Museum of Wildfell Art, originally housed at Salisbury University, till 1992 when the museum moved to its current location at Schumaker Pond. It features the world's largest and finest public collection of decorative and antique decoys and is named after two Eastern Shore decoy carvers and brothers Lem and Steve Ward. They host many events every year and invite locals and tourists alike to their educational programs and daily museum hours.
It is important the Salisbury community is engaged in these environments to ensure the future improvement in the use of these great spaces. There is always room for enhancement to promote sustainable use of these parks for future generations. We, as Salisbury University students, hope that the future of these park systems will enrich the quality of life for the residents and visitors alike and preserve it for future generations.
As mentioned, homeowners can improve their community's environmental health through removing invasive species of flora and fauna, cleaning up their pets' waste, substituting organic fertilizer for industrial fertilizer, and planting native vegetation around the edge of their property to retain runoff. In a broader sense, our goal here is to encourage all Salisbury residents, especially homeowners around waterways, to carry out sustainable methods of property management as well as promote community projects that will improve ecosystem integrity. The Eastern Shore of Maryland is home to many successful environmental restoration projects. One example is the Maryland Coastal Bays Program, who recently restored 1.5 acres of tidal and non-tidal wetland stream habitat in a dam removal project, which opened up over 7 miles of spawning area for the local fish species. These such examples should motivate us to take action, stay focused, and keep working toward a positive change.